Welcome to About You. I'm Connie Hogan. As we kick off a new year, it's always a great idea to take stock of where we are professionally, financially, personally, and I usually fancy myself as an expert in these matters, but today we have two actual experts in the house, which is Jodi Lehman and her colleague, Mr. Joe from the High Achievement Center. Jodi is a life coach, and Mr. Joe is also a coach who is known for his strategic thinking, and they're going to give us a lot of information about how to improve our whole situations, right? So I will let you kick off, Jodi, if you want to talk about how, well, I like to start with where you grew up, where you went to college, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. So my path to life coaching was forged through challenges and accomplishments.
Okay, that sounds good.
Through life, we all have challenges that we all go through, and that helps pull you into where you go to. And I started out, I was born and raised in the great state of Wisconsin.
I saw that somewhere. I did say
I know. But
one place that's colder than here right now.
This
right?
is true.
If that's possible.
That's
right?
true, yes. And so I went to college at University of Wisconsin La Crosse.
All right, yeah.
And that's actually how I met Mr. Joe as well.
Got it.
And I graduated with a master's degree in human performance. I have a double major in physical education and health education. So with that, I was a teacher, I coached sports. So this was actually a natural progression. Even though I didn't know about it back then, I see it now. Because once you get to understand what your purpose is, and that's really how we got to the High Achievement Center. It was, you can see your journey, and like everything was meant to be there for a reason.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So how about you? You went to Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin.
Well, I'm from Michigan.
Are you? Okay.
I'm from Detroit.
Okay.
I definitely I went to Denby High School. I graduated in 1991. Yes,
Okay.
Tar Heels, and
Then we were the blue for Tar Heels, right? With the other Tar Heels. Right?
the other Tar Heels, exactly. And what I did is I had a transition to La Crosse, Wisconsin as well, as Jodi indicated. That's where I met her. I found La Crosse, Wisconsin to be very interesting because it was similar to Michigan, yet a little bit different. And the reason I say it in that fashion is because people are people. But when you talk about moving to another state to go to school, it's a challenge. It was a challenge.
I can attest to that,
Yeah. And so what I did is I went to Wisconsin La Crosse, and then I went up deeper at a Division II school because I was playing basketball.
Okay.
And once I went to the Division II school, it was in the Dales. So that's
beautiful.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So I have a wide array of different experiences with people. And so I've come to conclude I went to Huron, South Dakota, and finished my degree.
Getting colder and colder.
Colder and colder.
Before we go next year, it's going to be Winnipeg next, right?
Right,
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Literally. I remember,
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say that because the coldest day, I think it was 30 below. We had to plug our cars in.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew a guy that played football, hockey for the Winnipeg Jets, and it was so cold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that today. It's like we're going crazy about this weather, but it's really not cold.
It's
you know,
not.
except when it gets to minus 30 with the wind chills and stuff. Right?
Yes. And so I finished off my degrees in human services.
Okay.
I also I'm certified in regards to credit strategies.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of how I did our transition. We did our transition with school. But meeting Jodi was very impactful because I met her in a human performance lab. And I was on the basketball team, and we were getting tested for body fat. And this is very interesting.
Neither of you had any, right?
Well,
I'm kidding.
well, no, but
I don't get in trouble.
I'll take
I
a
get in
yeah on
trouble
that
all the
one.
time.
you bring up a good point. It's just a performance base of how we met in regards to the
That's
performance
amazing.
side. Yeah. So we was dealing with water, and we dealt with flow, and then we just dealt with situations and dealt with people. So yeah, that's how we met. And
So did you guys start the High Achievement Center then, the two of you, or no?
No,
How would that go?
we started the High Achievement Center about 8 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, and it came out really because we were looking to get into something that we really wanted to do. And that's when I was looking at what's my purpose, why am I here? And I knew I enjoyed people, I enjoy helping them and letting them see that they can make it, their challenges, they can overcome it. It may take a minute, but it's really possible. And understanding what that purpose was, and then knowing Mr. Joe and understanding, like, ever since I've known him, he's had a remarkable aura about himself where people attract to him, but they seem to bring all their problems to him.
I can see that.
Yeah, and then this is the best part of it. He creates a strategy specific for that person. I've seen it over and over. And when they do it the way he's telling you to do it, they win. And so I said, this would be a great business where we are able to coach people using both of our techniques, because we come from two different eras where it's a man and a woman, so you get two different perspectives. Our life experiences are different, and so it was a great way to develop a center where people become high achievers. And they're able to jump those hurdles. And we love to win, so our main objective is make certain that our clients win too, because that's the only way we get to win.
So you kind of wound up in Michigan because of him?
No, my corporate, I was working for a corporation in Wisconsin, and I wanted to move up the ladder, and so I had to move to, I actually moved to Southfield, Michigan.
Okay.
And I worked in corporate for, 10 plus years, and I loved it because I got to meet. I was working with different accounts,
Were
so
you
I got
HR type?
Nope, I was working more in sales and marketing, and so I got to meet with all the accounts, and I got to travel around the country. So it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so then you started the High Achievement Center, and so just talk about the genesis of it, and then go through. I know you have 4 pillars, and each one is pretty inclusive and pretty intense or whatever,
So at the High Achievement Center, we look at it as a person, as the whole person.
Okay.
And so those 4 pillars that we talk about is understanding your purpose and vision, leadership development, relationship strategies and strengthening your relationships, and mastering your financial literacy. And we've noticed that when any one of those are out of alignment, you have a situation, and that's where we come in. So we help bring you back into alignment.
Which would be 90% of the population.
Well, and this is true, but that's why those are the 4 main pillars. Yeah, absolutely.
I was only half kidding when I said I fancy myself as a. It's gonna be my interview, right?
No, that's a good point, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to cast down on my friends, but I know so many people who they need it more than I do. I mean, it's like just little things, and like how people get so, mixed up. Let's say.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
And then you look, and a lot of times, like I would play the role of you,
Sure.
and I would say, "How'd you get so screwed up?"
Yeah.
But you can't, as a friend. That's
Exactly.
why people, is that right? I mean,
Exactly.
They need to come to someone professional, as you all are,
Yeah.
rather than have somebody like me say, you really screwed up, kind of, because I mean, it's really bad, and they're smart people.
Yes.
Like, I
Yes.
mean, oh
Good
my
point.
goodness.
Well, and it's not the intellect. It's
not.
What
No,
I've
no,
noticed
it's
is, the saying that it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
Well, what happens as an adult, you forget, you want to just do it on your own, and it don't work that way.
Yeah,
Like
it's
when
hard,
you hit
yeah.
roadblocks and challenges, it's great to have a coach that sees outside of it, because they're not in there with you.
Right.
So they get to see the whole picture, and by us understanding who we're working with, that's where creating a strategy that suits them really benefits them.
And I would imagine, I was reading through your website and everything, but there's a lot of overlap on all of this, right? I mean, in today's world, the financial, you could almost put that on number 1. I mean, I probably would, because everything else, I mean, let's be real, it's really crazy. And that's how people get so upside down. And I know we have
Yes.
a mutual friend that was on this show, you know, Joe Glebe, I'll say the name. And she's so, that's her kind of her thing, you know.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about that. It's like, how in the world do these people that are so intelligent wind up so upside down? And it's like, how did this happen? I'm like, well, you know, duh, it happened because you weren't strategic and you didn't think about like tomorrow, you're thinking about today. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, Connie, it's interesting that you say it in that fashion because we have a system that we put in place that actually replaces goals because we believe systems are key. And you want to have a system that supports your success. And the only way to do that is to have a strategy. And that strategy comes from having someone identify what is the situation that you believe that you're going through. And a lot of times you may be going through it, but when you have a coach, you can grow through it. It's a different concept, same situation, different perception. And that's one of the uniquenesses about being a coach that you get to impact
So you guys,
lives.
no, I can't remember, I have to look. Were your degrees in psychology, some of it, or? 'Cause
No.
It seems like a lot of this is.
No, not
Or do you
mine, not
feel
whatsoever.
like
Well,
it-
I think for me, with the teaching, you obviously even any undergrad goes through some type of psychology class, but even with my human performance master's degree, we talk about sports psychology because everything has to go back through your head, right? And so that's how you get certain athletes through roadblocks. It's because they have something in a mental roadblock, and you have to work with them to get through it. And that's where, like Mr. Joe was talking about, where you have a system to support your success. And when your mindset changes, everything can change for you. It's just you got to get through that, and that's where we come in.
So for your business, we talked a little bit about it because you actually have offices.
Yes.
It's not because so many people don't, you know,
Yeah,
that
sure,
are
that's
nowadays.
true.
I mean, it's, you know, whether they do or not, it makes no difference really. But like if someone out there, like our audience, if they, what would be the profile, I guess, or the scenarios, you know, of a few examples, not to, of course, name names, but it would be, you know, well, how would that be? How would someone say, that those people would be good for me to talk to? Yeah.
Well, I guess I can take that one. The last 21 months, we've had 3,000 clients that have their life transformed.
Wow.
And what was amazing to us is that we become more intentional when an individual realizes that they have a situation. And when I say situation, the person may feel overwhelmed, stuck, or in a situation where they could be in a toxic relationship.
So that's a big part of it.
That's huge.
Well, I was going to say that.
That's huge.
That might come before the financial stuff.
I was just about to say that. But again, each his own. We meet you where you're at. And at the High Achievement Center, our number one goal is to really challenge and change mindsets on the way you see your world. And so what that encompasses, it's a mindset shift. It's very simplistic, but yet you have to understand life is not fair. Once you understand that's the truth, Connie. Once you understand that, now you can start to do what we call recharge. So when you meet us, that person, when you meet us, how do you know if you need the High Achievement Center? Can't sleep at night? How do you know you need the High Achievement Center? Say you wanted to lose weight. I just lost 60 pounds utilizing Ozempic and Wegovy. I had to plan those. So that's what we talked about.
You're saying you actually did?
I was 281 21 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
So you used Ozempic and stuff?
Ozempic, Wegovy. I have a artificial valve inside my heart as we speak now. So when you talked about degrees, my degree is in life.
Wow.
And one of the things that I've come to realize is that working with someone of Jodi's nature, because she's so organized, she's so systematic.
She seems like it, yeah.
Yes,
That's just my sense.
Yes, well, no, she reminds me of Jill. And
totally, yeah.
Yes, totally. Shouts out to Jill, definitely.
Yeah, that's all right. That's funny, because that's not how I actually met you guys, but it's a small world around here. That's another little factor on your thing there.
A very small world.
Especially around Bloomfield, Birmingham. Not that that's because who we cover, but you throw Grosse Points in there, and even though it's 30 miles away.
Definitely.
It's, you know, though if you take those communities, We live in Mayberry. I call it Mayberry. That's my thing. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It is, and and I say that with so much respect.
Oh,
But
definitely.
It's true,
Yeah,
though.
definitely.
I mean, we love it, but still,
Yeah. And it's dealing with people that want more. That's, and when I talk about more, I'm talking about understanding of self. Because when you think about those 4 pillars that we're talking about, once you identify your purpose, then your vision can become clear. Then you're able to know what you're capable of doing. At the core, who are you? What do you really want to do? And then when you look at finances, you have to have your finances together, and they have to be micromanaged without emotions.
That's true.
That's a toughie.
That's a tough one.
That's a toughie. That's
It's a very tough one, yeah.
But your coach can help you because we have a system that supports your success. And I say that with such vigor because it's really needed. So you don't feel isolated. You don't feel alone. You can get help. Having a coach to see things that you can't see, as Jodi indicated, puts you in a strong position for you to have success.
It is a little bit, though, I assume, a little bit like being in a therapy situation.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, in terms of, I assume a person would say, okay, we're going to have an initial conversation, and then you would have, following with appointments and so forth. Is that how you do it?
Yeah. The uniqueness of the High Achievement Center is that we help you deal with circumstances that are complex, but it's high-level guidance.
Okay.
And so therefore,
When you say high level, you mean more, not superficial, but more looking at the big holistic, right? Yeah.
exactly,
I got it.
holistic. And when we come to a holistic approach, it allows you to look at yourself. Because your situations can be resolved, but how do we resolve it? Because you are your business and you are you. So you have to get better. And then we can deal with the situation by you getting better. It's so key.
And to that point, we've had clients, we've had quite a few clients actually that have brought their parents to us because their parents, we've had at least 4 people that their parents got diagnosed with cancer. And so it was helping that them unite and figure out how to walk through that process, what is required, because they're both on emotional fronts. Like one's the parent, one's the child.
And there's a role reversal.
Exactly.
Great point.
Yes.
Right.
And,
great point.
And so we've had really great success with that because we've had one breast cancer. She was at when she got diagnosed, she was at stage 4. She didn't know what it meant, even though she went to the doctor. So we walked her through it and her daughter through it. And her mom took a hold of it and she started changing her whole life cycle. So she extended her life.
Yes.
With thankfully with our guidance to let her know where she's really at, and we helped her with accountability to keep her on that path, and it was great. And we've seen that through many of our clients. They'll bring their parents with, so we and kids. So we've really had the whole gamut, 14 years
That's
old
amazing,
up to 90 years old.
93. He's 93.
93.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, because everyone needs somebody to hold, to walk with them and make them accountable.
That's amazing.
But it's real life situations. We want you to get to where you want to be at.
Yeah.
So you said you've had a lot of clients. I mean, in the last year or so, right?
Yes.
So how do you guys? Maybe I just don't know, but I hadn't heard that much. I mean, how do you publicize what you like? How do people find out about you other than stuff like this? The show.
Well, here's what happened to us in a nutshell.
Okay.
2020 was.
You knew you were going to say that. COVID comes into all of my interviews. I'm going to say, Connie even said something about you. Say COVID. COVID results.
Yes.
And speaking of COVID.
Yes. And speaking of COVID.
It is amazing, isn't that?
It really is.
How it transformed.
That's it. That's the word.
Transformed
everything. Now, here's the key. Just like this bottle of water. It's water, yes. But if I haven't had something to drink in 6 days, it's greater to me.
Right.
And so how you look at the COVID 2020 scenario, we embraced it. And once you embrace something, you deal with what I call gratitude. Just be thankful. I never caught COVID. I've been very
I
fortunate.
didn't either, and I didn't ever
wow.
have it, even testing for it or anything.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
But I'm
yes.
a very healthy girl, though. I
Yes.
mean, for my,
That's
old
good.
lady, I
Yes.
should say. But
Yes. That's key.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well,
you and I. Wow, that's amazing.
and here we are now.
Yeah.
You know, like Jodi indicated, that one client that extended her life 5 years. The programs are different. The reason it's different because we do what is called real life conversations first. You're right. We do have to sit with you. And when you have real life conversations, a lot of times it's needed. What you seek seeks you. And one of the things we've come to realize is that let's get out of the way and let's look at the situation, and let's not call it good or bad. Let's call it information. I call it current data. What do you want to do with that data? You want to take it, you want to remove it, you want to replace it. But the key element to being successful, for what we see, is communication. What is going on in your life and what is really affecting you, and share it. At the High Achievement Center, we have an environment. I'm 75,000 mistakes. So therefore, you feel comfortable with someone, and that allows you to be able to get to your verdict, and then we design a plan, and then we execute. But yes, you meet with us, you can do it online. A lot of our clients are in other countries. So therefore, in our office, I have a stand-up desk. And the sexy part about that is that I'm staying healthy, and also it puts you in an ideal position to allow what is called flow state. That's where your honesty begets my honesty. When you get into that type of situation, things start to happen. We call it the magic of flow.
So you said stand-up desk. What do you mean
Yes,
by that?
I push a button, my desk raises up. I have to stand.
Oh.
I transfer energy.
I see.
Energy, focus, agenda.
So people generally come into your office over
definitely.
in Bloomfield. It's Beverly Hills,
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Bingham
Farms.
Farms.
It's in Bingham, right down the street here.
Yeah, because I knew.
It's in Bingham Farms.
But we offer, so any person looking to hire us as a life coach, we always offer a free consultation.
Okay.
Oh, you
that was
must.
my
Always,
next
yeah. And you
question,
can either call, email, or you can go online and just sign up. It's very easy. Right.
So we've talked about, overview of financial issues. That was one of yours. Now, for the leadership development, talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Because that's kind of,
Yeah, it's
more on the corporate side, and that's a big one. You
Yeah.
have that listed as number one, and it
Oh, yeah.
kind of is. But
yeah. Well, the program itself is an online course that we've already developed.
Okay.
And
So there's a course.
It's an online course we developed. It's called
Okay.
the Black Lion. You ever seen a black lion before? You ever heard of a black lion? That's because you have to create it. And that black lion is a person within
I
yourself.
have a black cat. He thinks he's a lion.
We have a picture in our office where it says mindset. It's a kitten looking into the water and it sees a lion.
Oh, that's
That's
the
your cat?
greatest. That's the greatest.
That's your cat.
That picture, that type picture has been around for so long.
Yeah.
But it's all cats.
It's true. Yeah.
But again, that goes back to leadership. And even within the cat structure, we'll just keep it right there with the cat. Let's park the car where the cat's at. Here's the deal.
Right.
The cat believes that he is leading himself.
Right.
He's independent.
That's right.
He's
and he's leading his mama too. So,
Oh, it's no question.
And controlling, like a puppet.
Very controlling, very controlling.
Right.
And that's what's the sexy ooh-wee that comes into our program, the Black Lion. It builds in confidence, courage, and creativity. And so therefore you have to embrace who you are. The key is, who are you? 85% of your happiness comes from other people. So that 15%, what is it foundationally rooted in? Who are you? What are you capable of doing? In the Black Lion program, it perpetuates clarity. That's key in leadership. And true leadership from the High Achievement Center standpoint is considered one thing: service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true leadership. In every follower, there's a leader. We believe that.
So do you
Definitely.
guys, do you do any consulting with like corporate now or?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah. The one of the key elements, small businesses, we work with them a lot. We come in
Okay.
and audit their business, help them get their personal
okay.
credit
So that's
together
okay.
and business credit together. And also we help them in regards to the ability to understand what's the next level. So we look at all facets of where you're at.
And it ties into leadership.
Right.
Because leadership is also part of communication. And when you're a leader, and when we talk about service, as a leader, you are serving your employees as well.
Definitely.
And so that's why for the corporate world, a great leader is really understanding who are they leading. And when they understand that and they're working with them and they're developing them, they become a fantastic leader because now they have other leaders behind them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a transition.
So do you ever have any companies or people come in and you just, they fall flat, or you did it doesn't work out? I would be curious about that more.
I'd have to say our success rate's rather high.
Okay.
I'd
But
have
I mean,
to say,
everybody usually has some.
so,
of it.
well, what happens is this. Usually we like smaller groups to
Okay.
give those people individual attention because everyone has their own sticking point for what they're trying to accomplish as a leader as well. And so it helps us gear it towards that person specifically. So that's why we, even with our businesses that we do work with, we do smaller group sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want 100 of you. Let's break it down, and
Yeah.
we can keep moving forward with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
one last thing to what Jodi's saying. Right now, we are working with a company that deals with cold calling. And so we designed a system for them.
We don't like them, just so they tell you.
Right.
You are
You see, I didn't-
hated people. One step above scammers. So, okay.
Wait, but this is why I didn't say their name, but this is why I did it that
Good.
way. But
Yeah.
one of the things that they reached out to us for is that how do I help people not be robotic? And
Right,
the key is
right.
encourage your employees to have a philosophy. What is your leadership philosophy? Are you someone that's big on integrity? Are you big on honesty? You know, are you someone that can be shady? It's easy to alleviate that when you have a protocol that's geared towards success. And what is that? Leadership. It's got to be integrity. You have to be able to say yes or no.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Now we have a few minutes, couple minutes,
Sure.
and I was interested though because I don't see this that much. But you were talking about you talked to gig workers, and so I didn't know that was an official term now. Gig work. I would think that would be a big clientele kind of thing. In a
Yeah,
way.
so when I think of, so gig workers they're independent. They don't have their own like business. There's no employees,
Right,
nothing like
right.
that. But they're
a
the
lot
ones.
of people are doing that now.
Well,
A lot.
And making a lot of money, yeah.
Those gig workers need our services
They
more
need
than
structure.
ever. Exactly.
Yeah, structure.
And that's where organization and developing a process that fits their success, they can then keep growing and developing.
Yeah.
And then eventually they may want to have their own business and
Yeah.
have employees. So that's a real that's a great segment of
It
our
is.
population
I would think
too.
so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
More than more than anything.
When you talk of that nature, I had two individuals. We just had a call. He's debating should he leave the federal government and take the buyout.
I won't even
Okay.
comment on us.
Right. I know, but Connie,
You're going to have to hire some new counselors.
yeah, literally, that's a lot of
Well,
people.
it's a lot of people going to be looking for gigs
They are.
because their gig is up.
Their gig is up. Their gig is up. And you know what? I tell people all the time, I told the gentleman, it's not so much a bad thing or a good thing. How does it work for you?
Right.
And that's what's needed. It's to evaluate the situation and get a different perspective.
Well, we're coming down to the last few
Sure.
seconds. Is there any other thing? That was a great segue, though.
Oh, yeah.
But is there anything else you want to just say to summarize our conversation to the people? And stuff?
Sure. I would say this, is that you are your business.
Okay,
And when
that was
you-
your thing.
You are your business. And when you look at life from that perspective, is that you're living your life to enjoy your life, but you want to be intentional.
Yes.
And you want to really seek the truth.
Yes.
Because when you seek the truth with yourself, when you become comfortable with yourself, life becomes simple. And simplicity is clarity.
Yes.
That's what I would want your audience to consider.
Well, thank you, Mr. Joe and
Yes.
Miss Jodi.
Thank
This
you so
was
much, Connie.
so interesting,
thank
and
you.
I've learned a lot.
But
And you
there we
know,
go.
I think you're more psychiatric than you think you are, because you really kind of bring out a lot of stuff.
That's a
right?
good point. That's a good
Very
point. Thank
good.
you as well. Appreciate you for
welcome.
having us.
Yeah.
And thank you
Definitely.
for watching today.